Hello, this is The Bittersweet Life. I'm Katie Sewell. Every month over at patreon.com/The Bittersweet Life podcast, our monthly supporters get to listen to bonus episodes of this show. Here is a preview of the most recent episode. Right, but surely he liked Back to the Future better.
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course. He loved Back to the Future. And that's a film that both Claudio and I, we were, simultaneously obsessed with as children who didn't know each other. That was a big, big movie in my family. My sister particularly was obsessed with Back to the Future. She was obsessed with Michael J. Fox. She had his posters up all over her room. And we loved it. And we watched it over and over and over and over and over and over again. But like The Sound of Music, I hadn't seen it since I think probably I was still at home, like maybe high school age, something like that. And Claudio loved that movie so much that when I took him to the United States the first time and we went to Burbank to visit my sister, he found like some of the locations from the movie and we had to go there. And he had to take a picture there, like in front of the Burger King sign, etc.
Nice.
Like where he goes down on his skateboard. And so, we both have a special love for this film, but separately. Watching it now, it seems so old to me. It seemed like, I'm watching this movie that takes place a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking about it, and I said it to Claudio. I said, 1985 is 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
When this movie was new, 1955 was only 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember living in the 80s, and I remember thinking about the 50s as like the dinosaur times. Like it was the before times. I mean, it was so long ago. It was like there couldn't be anything. There was nothing. There was nothing similar. And now we're 40 years beyond the 80s. And I'm not going to say the 80s feel like yesterday, but it doesn't feel like it was that long ago comparatively, but it's longer.
I know. Isn't that amazing? I know. Mm-hmm.
We have to know that kids today looking at that see the 80s and maybe even the 90s. That's horrifying. Just as distantly as we saw the 50s when we were little kids.
Well, I think that's true. And I mean, particularly because we've had the turn of a century. So it's like for a little kid born in the 21st century, if you were born in the 20th century, that seems crazy.
I
know. There's something psychological about the turn of a century and the people who were born prior to that century starting and the people who were born afterwards. And I do think, and I have no proof of this, that for young people, there's got to be something that makes it seem like if you were born prior to the 21st century, that seems extra old. Because that's an entirely different set of years than what we're dealing with now. If you want to hear more, support the show. For $5 a month or more, you can keep this show in operation and give yourself the gift of added listening. Patreon.com/The Bittersweet Life podcast. There's a link in the show notes. Thank you so much, and talk soon.